Eala sounds cold amid flood of fake news about her online. As Eala's stardom continues to rise, so does the flood of fake information surrounding her. Unscrupulous online pages have preyed on her growing fan base and a Philippine tennis audience still finding its footing and learning its ways around the sport. From clickbait articles to fabricated quote cards, edited tweets falsely attributed to public figures, and even AI-generated images of the 20-year-old in situations that never happened, misinformation has followed Eala's ascent. At the end of her campaign at the first-ever WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open campaign, Eala finally addressed the issue, recognizing the enormity of the problem but admitting her camp is powerless to do something about it. "I don't have power over what other people post. I am aware that there have been a lot of fake news articles," Eala said after her quarterfinal loss to eventual champion Camila Osorio at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. "It is concerning because I see sometimes they get a lot of likes and it's difficult to understand, to tell the difference when you see it online," she added. Eala's fake news dilemma is no different from other celebrities, but hers has become progressively worse since she made the breakthrough run to the semifinals of the WTA 1000 Miami Open in March, perhaps because the Philippines is one of the biggest population of internet users in the world. Her father, Mike Eala, also acknowledged the challenge of misinformation in today's digital landscape, noting it as an inevitable byproduct of her growing profile. "It is true that there have been so many fake news on Alex. We choose to focus our energy on things that are positive and can help her get to her goals," he told Spin.ph last November. "The stories come in various forms, from heartwarming to the absurd, sweet to unbelievable. But it's all the same, fake, made-up stories. Eala's call in a sea of noise, a story of truth, triumph, and the digital age. In the digital age, fast, unruly, and at times chaotic, a superstar's rise can be as much about navigating misinformation as it is about athletic achievement. At just 20 years old, Alex Eala has emerged not only as one of the Philippines' brightest sporting icons, but also as an inadvertent symbol of a deeper societal challenge: the flood of fake news and fabricated content that engulfs public figures online. Eala's journey, from an aspiring junior player to a global tennis sensation ranked inside the WTA Top 50, has been remarkable. She's made historic runs at major tournaments, captured the hearts of millions of fans, and inspired a generation in a country where tennis has often taken a backseat to other sports. But as her star rose, so did a parallel phenomenon, a tide of faucets, sensational claims, and fabricated stories that swirled around her online presence. When fame meets disinformation, with success comes visibility, and visibility often attracts those seeking clicks rather than clarity. In recent months, social media platforms and certain websites have played host to clickbait articles, fabricated quote cards, AI-generated images, and entirely made-up narratives attributed to Eala. Some stories were harmless in intent, bizarre tales of unlikely figures or absurd scenarios, while others wielded greater influence by mimicking the look of authentic news. They spread widely, collecting likes and shares faster than many real reports. In one instance, a story that claimed Eala had engaged in an entirely fabricated emotional encounter, complete with an invented character and AI-generated photos, made the rounds on social media. Photos were created of a moment that never happened, complete with incorrect details. Eala is left-handed, yet the images showed the pose inaccurately. Such fabrications are not unique to Eala. Celebrities, politicians, and public figures around the world increasingly find themselves battling misinformation. But what makes Eala's situation particularly notable is the velocity and creativity of the false content, and the confusion it can sow among a growing fan base, including many who are still learning to navigate digital literacy. Alex's response: clarity amid chaos. In response to this surge of online misinformation, Eala has spoken candidly about her concerns. After a recent tournament campaign, she acknowledged to reporters that while she cannot control what others post, she recognizes the challenge misinformation presents and how easily it can mislead audiences. "It is concerning because I see sometimes they get a lot of likes and it's difficult to understand, to tell the difference when you see it online," she said. Her frankness reflects a maturity beyond her years, not only as an athlete but as a public figure navigating the complexities of the digital age. Eala's message wasn't one of frustration alone but also of awareness and caution. She encouraged followers to be discerning, to seek reliable sources, and not to take every sensational headline at face value. The mechanics of misinformation, To understand why fake news about public figures like Eala proliferates, it helps to look at how the modern online ecosystem functions. Certain pages and sites are designed explicitly to maximize engagement and advertisement revenue. They may post entirely fabricated stories, sensational headlines, or AI-generated content that attracts attention and directs traffic. Once engagement metrics rise, likes, comments, shares, algorithms amplify the content further. In Eala's case, these web pages often start by building a following among fans of tennis and Filipino sports, then post news that appears plausible, even when it's not. The purpose isn't always to damage reputations. Sometimes it's simply to exploit emotions and generate clicks. This isn't just a problem for athletes. Across the globe, individuals in the public eye face similar challenges. The difference, perhaps, lies in how audiences perceive what they read. Many social media users may not check the credibility of a page or the reliability of a source, and in the rush to react or share, misinformation spreads. The human cost behind the headlines. It's easy to dismiss fake news as just sensationalism or a harmless prank. But for the subject at its center, it can be exhausting, distracting, and even emotionally taxing. Imagine being celebrated for a career milestone one day, then waking up to find your words and actions twisted into something entirely unrecognizable the next. This is the digital reality for many public figures. For Eala, who is still developing as both an athlete and a role model, the experience carries additional weight. She is someone who has captured the imagination of young sports fans, particularly in a nation where representation on the global tennis stage has historically been limited. To see that same admiration become fodder for misinformation, even in well-intentioned tributes, can blur the line between celebration and distortion. A call for better digital literacy. Eala's story highlights a broader need in today's media landscape: digital literacy. It's not enough to encourage critical thinking in academic settings alone. People of all ages must learn how to navigate online spaces with skepticism and discernment. One key lesson is recognizing that not all content labeled news is factual. Websites with